Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. I am Tiki, and here in this land of enchantment, I appear before you as a nerdy podcaster. Stand back. Oh, mystic powers, hear my call. From my arms, let BlueDragonFive in England fall. How are you guys?
Okay.
Yeah, doing well.
Yeah, Kangaroo intro. Alright, so tonight, we're talking Mr. Banks. Doing a little talking Mr. Banks, yeah. Good to have a good kind of steady slew of Disney podcasting back on the channel. Feels right. Alright, so you know what doesn't feel right, though, folks? The absence of a simian friend of ours. It's kind of heartbreaking. Monkey, where are you? That's the question we're kind of asking, because this is the last time that Monkey's basically going to be able to do a podcast for a while now, and we've been waiting to, do this, and whatever. We're plugging through, guys, right? We're plugging through.
Unfortunately, Monkey's time machine was hit by lightning during a thunderstorm.
Yeah, Monkey has docked around for a year, and I have to assume that's some nonsense with the space-time continuum, like just messed with.
See, basically, he was all set to join us. His DeLorean was hovering above us, and we warned him not to get struck by lightning. But then it just happened, and then it was like a little flag thing just came falling down. And then a guy came with a letter. It's extraneous. We're not going to get into it. We're just going to press on forward. Hopefully, he joins us. Hopefully.
Oh my God, I'm crossing my fingers that he joins us. Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, guys, we have a little bit of a list of names to get through. These are all people who have contributed voices to Disneyland. And first of all, I would like to give a sincere thanks to a subscriber of ours, Mr. MichaelSar12IsBack. Now, this guy, he has been probably one of our most consistent commenters, and he always provides insightful commentary, always corrects us when we say stupid, blunderous mistakes, and is just in general seems like a really pleasant guy. So, just want to give it up to him, and he actually did request us do this very topic a few months ago in a comment, and I was like, hey, that sounds like a great comment. So, yeah, MichaelSar12IsBack. We're finally getting around to it. This is just for you, buddy. Just for you. All right. All right, so in general, what do you guys kind of, do you have any kind of initial thoughts before we dive into the thick of things in terms of voices of Disneyland?
England.
I mean, they're some of the most iconic catchphrases in pop culture. Please stand away from the doors, for example, on the monorail, is it just catches on, or the ghost host. So I mean, while a lot of them also did television and movie work, their park work I think is some of the most unique.
I feel like a lot of these voices and just a lot of what we're going to be talking about, like, Disneyland would not be what it is without what we had in the likes of Thurl Ravenscroft and the likes of even someone like Jack Wagner doing the monorail voice, or even someone like, let's take, for example, the two Hispanic actors that England brought up, Fabio Rodriguez and Giddy Alvarez, who do all the male and female Hispanic voices, which is really, really quite a feat, because when you consider how iconic, like, the whole permanent incesitavo por favor thing, that's so iconic that they have worked that bit of dialogue into, like, fireworks shows and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's kind of my point. It's a special type of status in pop culture, and it sticks with you because you ride that ride over and over and over again, and you can get to quote it.
Yeah.
But I think it's often overlooked. A lot of people know who Mel Blanc is, but they have no idea who Thurl Ravenscroft is.
Exactly.
And that's, I think, kind of the point of what we're doing today, is to run through that and hopefully bring these people into the light and give them the respect they deserve.
You got to remember,
Alright,
folks. This is the lifeblood of the park. These are the guys who kind of truly make it come to life, truly give you the theme park experience, while also kind of bringing the magic alive too. Is giving those echoing voices that you hear in your head. They're going to keep echoing and echoing and echoing till your last moments. You know, big milestones.
Disney is with you to the end. They will haunt you to the grave.
Well, and you know, like any good voice acting, and I actually personally think voice acting is the more difficult challenge for an actor than
Absolutely.
voice acting. But just like any good voice acting or any voice acting, if you cast it wrong, it can break the entire atmosphere.
Oh God, yes.
And
Some of the best voice acting goes unnoticed.
exactly, unnoticed because it fits.
Yeah.
So you know, and that's what made Disney different is they were telling a story, and it wasn't just, you know, the dark ride wasn't the, you know, crazy mirrors that you'd see at a carnival. The dark ride was actually telling a story, and so the voice actors were just as important. So like I said, they did TVs and movies, but I think they're often overlooked for their contribution to the parks.
It's storytelling brought to the physical plane. That's what the theme park attraction's all about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm just we have kind of like a Fab Five that we want to get to near the end of the show. Hopefully when Monkey shows up, because we're kind of let's kind of start with some appetizers here. And one of the guys that I think we should probably mention is Dal McKenna. Now this guy, he had a lot of notable voice acting work. He was, of course, I think most notably he was the voice of Gumby. And also a lot of side Gumby characters as well, like Pokey and stuff like that. And also he was the voice of Archie in the Archie comics, in the Archie series. Did some side voices in Lady and the Tramp.
101 Dalmatians.
Max and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So this guy, like, he's one of those voice actors where he is very versatile when you think about it, because he is mostly known, and if you look at the guy, he's got like the huge, like, frickin', you know, giant mountain man beard. It's like, I'd say, you know, like the Big Thunder Mountain role is the one that really kind of personifies him the most. But like his range on stuff, like, I mean, just look at the guy's face, and it's like, he was Archie, you know? It's like that bearded, crazy-looking guy was Archie. So, I don't know. It's just kind of an impressive feat. But let's just talk about his big, famous contribution to the role of Disneyland. And that is, how can you forget, whenever you're in Frontierland, and, oh my God, Mew, Man-Eating Wreath, who works at Rancho del Zocalo, which is right by Big Thunder Mountain. I'm sure Man-Eating Wreath hears this guy's voice ringing in his ear like every day. How can you forget, you know, when you're even just passing by Big Thunder Mountain? Now hang on to your hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness. Yeehaw! Just iconic. What do you guys think about that whole delivery and how it's kind of stood the test of time?
Well, that's kind of your big, like, hey, folks, you're in for a big thrill, hang on! It's like this exuberant, just kind of preparing you for the wild adventure at hand. That's, again, it's just kind of hyping you up for the theme park experience right there.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
he
it's
carried
great.
over the similar character with, he kind of fleshed out that character. It's the little one-liner, but just hopping coast for a second, because my specialty is Disney World. He's Zeke in the Country Bears. So.
Oh, okay, nice. I didn't even know that.
So he kind of, I didn't, until we were talking about it, I didn't think about it, but he's, when you think about it, it's that same, he took that same character voice and really spread it out.
I'm a wily prospector.
Exactly. But he's also Ben Franklin in American Adventure at Epcot.
Oh, wow, okay, so you see what I mean about diversity, then.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he was also the original voice on, the original narrator on Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland, which was there for years before Big Thunder took over.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have the southern accent? I mean, I know nothing.
Oh, yeah, he was essentially the same character, just not like, because it wasn't a roller coaster, he wasn't quite so like, yee-haw, it's gonna be a wild ride, you know. He was more like, oh, now over there are some bears, and over there are some beavers. We're about to enter the Rainbow Caverns.
Okay. I think the Baxter ride-through that he released for D23 a couple years ago, I don't think it had audio. So I've never heard it. I think it was just visuals.
I think if you find the Extinct Attractions Club documentary of, which might be on YouTube in all likelihood, the documentary of Nature's Wonderland has a full recording along with archival footage.
I'll check it out. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know something just with this guy and a lot of actors are going to come across in this thing, it's going to notice kind of a reoccurring thing with the Disney theme park voices here. You notice a lot of them actually have done small voices, have done voices in the movies. A lot of them kind of small. A lot of actors kind of mainly freelance, kind of brought in to do this job because they're quality. Because a lot of freelance guys are quality going from job to job. So these guys are the quintessential professionals doing kind of the I don't want to say grunt work, but kind of doing just the average Joe jobs. But they're doing it so well they're brought in for this, and of course they then get a chance to kind of permeate themselves in kind of the culture of the Disneyland park.
Sure.
There's kind of a nice little reoccurring thing you find with them. Like a lot of them have done like small voices or singing roles in the Disney films, and they get to do that in the parks. And it's like I have a Walt Disney kind of like a thank you for your service, and I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to put you in the park. And Walt Disney does care a lot about a lot of these names, especially kind of in our Big Five category. He does actually show a lot of favorism towards these guys who've done good work for him in the past.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there was some, intentional. I'd like to think that it was intentional because Walt was a storyteller.
Yes.
And very smart on that move because those voices, especially in the 50s and 60s era where you had a lot of the same voice actors in a lot of the same movies, these classic iconic characters are the Disney look when you watch the movie, and then you go to the park and they carry over that, even if they're not the same character, they're still that
vibe's there.
That vibe, exactly, and they capture that vibe well. If they'd gone with different voice actors, it could have turned out completely differently. I mean, I mentioned Mel Blanc earlier. Can you imagine Mel Blanc doing? He's an awesome voice actor.
He is, of course.
But could you imagine him doing, some of the spiels at Disney World? It'd probably be okay, but it wouldn't sound like Disney. It would sound like Looney Tunes.
Yeah, you're right. It would be there'd just be something off about it.
It's just you need Disney kind of has a little more of the whimsy that Mel Blanc's just kind of hilarious kind of 40isms in those characters.
Right.
Mel Blanc's he's all over. He's like the guy from these. Like your characters on the streets in the 40s who come to life, all these wondrous characters on the street. This is like Disney's more otherworldly, like these iconic archetypes and things,
All right, so let's get into D. Bradley Baker, who obviously BlueDragonFive, you gave me some crap for not instantly knowing who this guy was. You want to take us through his credits outside of Disney?
D. Bradley Baker, oh my God, he's got like a rap sheet this long, but
yeah, he does.
D. Bradley, let me just go through the most notable stuff. Like most notably, like one of his big characters is American Dad is Klaus the Fish. This is German fish.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Basically, he's kind of like a big incidental voice guy. I mean, the game's done so many, it's hard there, but his main specialty and the big things used for the Disney parks and everything is that he has animal voices, and he does them like no one else does. I mean, Frank Welker, he's good, but I gotta attest, I think D. Bradley Baker might be a little better because he's a little more varied than Welker is. I mean, it's just he does. He knows how to open up his nasal passageways and everything to make sounds going in and out everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in he's like a parrot on the Pirates of the Caribbean, right? I mean, recently he's now taken on the role. Not that there's a lot to do, but he's taken on the role of Boba Fett in the new Star Wars Star Tours updated.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the parrot, because I feel like the parrot is kind of like he is almost kind of like the Dal McKenna of Pirates of the Caribbean, where, I don't know, England, what's the situation with your Pirates of the Caribbean? Is that parrot right when you walk in, just like ours is?
He's gone.
He's gone. Wow, your Pirates of the Caribbean really sucks.
Yeah, it does. He used to be right when you would walk in, and the Barker
Oh,
parrot...
wait, didn't he used to be right above the entrance, actually?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Why we call it the Barker parrot, I don't think Disneyland fans call it that, but the Disney World will call him the Barker parrot, the Pirate Barker. And the reason why was his role, like as people would walk by, he would say all these random things, and it would attract you to the ride. Because it's not in a very obvious place. So it's a little off to the side, the entrance is. But I don't know why they got rid of them. I really don't. I know why they got rid of Luxo, because we used to have an animated Luxo over at Hollywood Studios. But I'd like to see him come back. And I was jealous when I went to Disneyland and you guys still had him.
Well, he's right when you walk into the building. So he really is the first thing that sets the tone for the rest of the attraction, and that would be true of Disney World as well when you guys did have him. So, just in terms of, like, it's classic. Like, I remember being 7 years old and going to Disneyland and not having the courage to go on Pirates of the Caribbean. But I remember waiting at the loading dock with my mom while my dad and brother went on the actual ride. And so I remember just hearing the loop of that parrot over and over again, and I got really into the pirate vibe. Like, I probably shouldn't have ridden the actual ride. I don't know. I was just a scared little kid back then. But I distinctly remember that day. Like, I would be going around like, yo-ho, pirates night for me. I'm sure it annoyed the crap out of my parents, but it's like I said, I think we can just give this guy testament for being like the person that kind of like lulls you into Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and I think the difference, and I'll drop it on the pirate thing because I know it looks like Blue Dragon wants to say something, but the one thing that I think that it took away from the Disney World version was our Tiki room is right across the way from Pirates. So you would go see the Tiki room, and you'd see all these animated birds, and then you walk out, and now there's this pirate animated bird, and it just kind of brought it all together, and it drew you in.
Oh, that's cool. That's neat. I like that.
Yeah, but it's no longer there. Well, forgotten Disney.
Yeah, the thing to remember is that, again, Bradley Baker, he's every, I assume by this point at least, he's every animal sound you hear in that park. So they probably just have him record every animal sound they put like on a speaker somewhere.
Yeah, I know they definitely have new animal sounds in the Jungle Cruise for sure. So I'm sure he does some of that.
90% chance that's all him.
Mm-hmm. Not sure what other stuff there is. Like there are animals on the rivers of America, but I'm not sure how many sounds they actually make. Like those things are pretty static for the most part.
Again, just to give him some credit here, he has really good performances outside animal sounds. I'm not sure if he does any other particular characters in the park, but I mean I know other outside of the Disney park, he's done some great roles in animation, such as like most recent, like I remember he was Doc Connors, like, the lizard on Spider-Man, doing probably the lizard voice, but also Dr. Connors, just being kind of this innocent guy who just wants his arm back like there's no tomorrow, but then it just goes south for him. It's like a likable family man who's his life gets turned around. It really sells you on humanity. D. Bradley Baker has this great humanity about him when he's doing his performances, but also he can play like a real kind of like devious characters, like a great public face with a character like on Legend Korra. I know you haven't seen this, Tiki, but his character in Legend Korra he plays called Tarlock, who basically is just he's like a politician, but he's really like an evil guy underneath it all, and just the guy like on the face is like, again, he seems friendly, he has that great veneer that D. Brother is so gifted at, but also a bit of malice once you realize this guy's like he's like a guy exercising his power in a really negative way.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, of course, he's Captain Rex as well, in Clone Wars, which is epic to me because he was one of my favorite characters. But I always thought that the voice actor was British.
No, he's
from Indiana. And he's also Perry the Platypus.
Do we have a monkey?
A monkey!
It's a monkey!
Are you sure it could be a Doc Brown?
Great Scott!
It could be a Doc Brown. Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
So how's the space-time continuum doing?
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, we got a letter and everything. Okay.
It's your kids, Marty. There's something wrong with your kids.
If you receive this
They
letter,
taste average. How do you know that, Doc?
To cannibalism, and the taste of your flesh is what warrants your worth in society. If your kids taste average, Marty, there's no hope. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
That's okay.
So what have I missed?
Cross the line into Campbell
We're on D. Bradley Baker.
jokes. How are you, Mike?
Oh, D. Bradley Baker, very nice. Yes.
Anything you want to say about how awesome this
Pretty
guy
cool.
is?
It was pretty neat. I was when I went to the D23 Expo in 2011, I was at the Voices of the Parks panel they did. Totally my favorite bit of the expo.
Nice.
And
Nice, nice.
yeah, I actually got to say hello to D. Bradley Baker. That was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, he was the only one out of the voices that I actually went up and said hello to. I really wish I'd said hello to Corey Burden also, but nevertheless, D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah, we'll get to him.
You hurt Corey Burton's feelings. I hope you're happy.
I'm sorry, Corey. Please forgive me.
That man took over Freeze's responsibilities. You owe him a great deal.
I promise. Next time. Next time, I will.
He saw you there and was waving like a hanky because he was like Dumbo's mom. Just saying.
Oh God!
I just picture Corey Burton and it's Corey Burton's voice going. Wait, what are the words like? Like, why must you disappoint me in this way, monkey? That's not the best Corey Burton impression, but whatever. So, D. Bradley Baker.
I saw his memory with the Lassie impression.
Okay, let's.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry, monkey. This is what you get for showing up late. I'm sorry.
So, D. Bradley Baker. I know he's the Paradin Pirates, the Boba Fett and Star Tours, and the old voice of California Screamin'. I know those.
Oh, he's the old voice of California Screamin'? Okay.
Yeah, he's the old one before Neil Patrick Harris came in.
Hey.
Hello?
Hello?
8.
I'm sorry,
Yes, and he's fish. And fish. Funny enough, one of the other Box Troll voices was at that same voices panel. Yeah.
All right, so let's move
Box Troll people discussion for another day.
Yeah, but seriously, last thing on Bradley Baker, and the guy doesn't get enough credit for, like, he can do other great performances, as we said, kind of like some of his Star Wars roles as Clone Troopers and stuff.
Like all his creature voices.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
voices.
Is his specialty. Man, the guy's the whole package. You know, you should get
like Fireflies. It's crickets.
Yeah, crickets are definitely special. You saw him do it at the expo, didn't you? I saw the video of that. So yeah, he demonstrated a lot of the voices, including like just these switch and get switched to him like that. You know, just like so he goes from
like. Is it safe to say that he and Frank Welker are among the top creature voices?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's mainly just
both of them and Frankenweenie. Yes, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember, like, what was it? Frank Welker was Sparky, and then D. Baker was all the other animals.
It basically goes real animals, then Frank Welker, and then D. Bradley Baker.
And this picture, what do they do with the animals? Like, is it like the little girl who voiced Boo? We just put them in a room and record their noises?
I guess imagine this, like all the animals in Hollywood, like in a little casting office, and there's like they're waiting, they're rehearsing their animal sounds.
Yeah,
play from the Peanuts, you know, like the Christmas play. They're always going over their animal lines.
Yeah.
And then just D. Bradley Baker and Frank Welker walking all happy-go-lucky, just sit down all friendly, pleasantly, looking over their lines, like all professional, and they always just go, they throw their scripts in the air, they'll stampede out.
That's a great visual.
And then they're just like looking to each other, just shrugging, like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, England. I don't think we've been in a podcast yet. Pleasure to meet you.
Crossover.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Magic's happening, folks.
WDW magic is happening.
Oh, seriously, D. Bradley Baker, jack of all trades, that guy, wonderful performer. Okay, let's get to our next one, Tiki.
All right, I'm back, by the way.
Oh, I thought you were gone.
Yeah, I was frozen today.
That's
That's what I'm gonna say every time I was frozen, just to make it slightly amusing.
I wonder why he'd make
Is it
that.
your first false?
All right.
Did you get to that Fantasyland Dark Ride guy yet?
No, we have not actually. Do you want to get to him now?
Might as well. Or is it Tony Pope? Is that who you're thinking of?
Probably. That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Because I think he did a lot of. Like, there was a time where he did a bunch of Disney voices. Like, he was the voice of Goofy for a while. I think he's in a bunch of the Fantasyland dark rides.
Yeah, he does, he's Stromboli and Pinocchio's Staring Journey.
I think he's also Geppetto. I think he might be the White Rabbit and the Tweedles.
Seriously, how cool is Stromboli?
Oh, Stromboli's a very underrated Disney villain, I think.
For you, little Pinocchio.
It's the junk in the
For
trunk,
me,
right?
you're making lots of money.
But seriously, again, this is guy's a prime example. Sounds like this guy's an example of kind of like taking over kind of a lot of legacy characters, and he's taking over kind of the biggies, like our Geppettos or Strombolis. And I assume is he not the? I can only assume he's not the original guy. Pinocchio made back in the early days.
No.
Well, obviously he's not the original Goofy or anything, but
Yeah, he sadly wasn't that old when he died.
It's a shame.
He was only like 56. Leg surgery.
Yeah. Now we're all depressed.
Oh my god, wait. He was Furby.
Furby?
Yeah, Tony Pope. Apparently he was Furby.
You mean that Furby?
Furby, the weird toy furry thing, yeah.
With a little little mogwai bird thing.
Yeah. Apparently he was Furby.
Oh god.
Oh. He was also Teddy Ruxpin, so...
Oh, get out of here. He was Teddy Ruxpin?
He was, yeah.
My god. I'm really glad you brought that up. This guy up, Monkey.
I'm checking on that.
Yeah, but seriously, these guys just starting kind of our continuing trend here within our voices of kind of a guy who's kind of bringing that legitimacy to. I can only assume he's done a really great job, kind of taking on these voice roles.
No, he was Newton in Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, that's what it's saying. He was.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah. Seriously, you care to weigh in on this guy at all?
Not much to say. That hasn't already been said.
Sure. Monkey, any other kind of cool things he's really done? Sounds like this guy's really kind of ingrained the pop culture just with the Furbies, because the Furbies, to my knowledge, they were the big Christmas seller of, I want to say 2002, but probably some other year.
Looks like he has some anime credits, non-anime credits, like maybe he became the voice of Geppetto for a while.
Probably like House of Mouse or something. They probably brought him in to do that.
Yeah, I guess he was the big bad wolf for a while, because it says he was the wolf in Roger Rabbit.
No, because it was like the big we bring all the characters in on frame together as they end in there. The huge money shot.
He was in a bunch of the Jumpstart games.
Tiki, you care to weigh in on this guy before we move on?
Well, the only thing I remember him from was that Disneyland documentary that they did for, I believe they initially did it for the 50th, but it took like 3 or 4 years for them to actually release it for some reason. And but yeah, he was on there. Like I said, he was like doing a clip where it's like, "Oh, I'm Peter Pan, off to Neverland," and then "Oh, I'm Stromboli, this will be your new home," and he was just, "And I'm Timothy Mouse, come on, hey Dumbo."
Wait, Tony Pope isn't Timothy though.
Oh, is he not? Well, I'm just naming random names.
Yeah, because there was the guy at the expo in 2011 who was Timothy.
Timothy. Yeah.
Chris Edgerly.
Chris Edgerly.
Yeah, Chris Edgerly. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just naming random Disney characters. My whole point is that the guy was just he was just doing a plethora of random Disney characters, and it was amazing. It
was like he's Timothy, he's Scuttle. I think he's J. Jonah Jameson and Peter Parker's Spider-Man in the Spider-Man ride.
Bring me pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think he even I think he might even voice bit characters on Simpsons or something these days.
Well, now Simpsons actors are getting a little, it's like getting over there.
Yeah, that's a sticky situation.
Yeah, let's not dredge that up.
Oh God.
Yeah, Mr. Burns wants a lawsuit, but we're not going to go there right now.
Kelsey Grammer, on the other hand.
You know what? I say if that's what kills the show, good riddance. That's my whole stance on it. All right. Anyways, let's move on to Paul Rubens, someone who I'm very happy to have a monkey on for.
This is crack. Crack cocaine.
It isn't glamorous.
We're cool. We're kid stuff. And the
And
scary
that's
part,
exact.
nobody
that's
knows
exact-
how much it takes.
Oh God.
Oh look, it's Batman!
And that's exactly what Paul Rubens' delivery is like in Star Tours.
Has he done anything else in the parks besides Star Tours?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Not
England,
that I
do you
can
know of
think
anything?
No, just RX-24. That's the only one I know of.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about an iconic sort of original character within the Disney park landscape, though.
Yeah, this captain, he played this little nervous captain character, and originally he was in the, I believe in the conceptual stage, he was like supposed to be like a psychotic malfunction robot with a death wish, but then they changed like kind of like a nervous newbie captain.
It's a newbie captain, yeah.
Well, yeah, they switched to that, and that's was like kind of what's endearing about him. I mean, Rubens just played. I think what I love most about his character, and what kind of Rubens brought to this guy, was that he brought kind of like he sold you on the thrill ride experience of like, hey, look, you guys are along for the ride with me, as I'm just new to this job, and like that's why I'm such a bad driver. That's why we're having such a good time. That's why it's like we're dropping. Whoa! It's like
yeah, I mean, he basically like warns you up front. He's just like. Of course, I think the classic line from this guy is the iconic line that everyone.
I get a
quotes.
bad feeling about this.
Well, yeah, that, but I know this
I'm
is
sure
probably,
this was probably your first flight,
yeah,
and
I
it's
know this
mine
is probably
too.
your first flight, and it's mine too.
There was a red
so
tag
iconic.
on the back of him, though.
It's
Wasn't
kind of
there?
funny, like when you if it actually is your first time going on the ride. It's like, yeah, this is my first flight.
It was my first time going on the ride at one point. Yeah.
Sorry, England, you were saying?
Yeah, wasn't there a red tag on the back as kind of a subtle
Yeah.
joke? That said,
Yeah,
like,
it said
remove,
to remove.
Oh yeah, that's right.
kind of a subtle joke that he wasn't ready at all.
Something, just overall with this, just this character, just this ride, as a kid going on this ride for the first time, I can only assume other probably kids and just first time riders felt the same way. This is just kind of the big experience of like you're going on a ride. It's gonna be you don't know what's gonna happen, but you're gonna have a great time. Like you're surprised at every turn. Of, like a captain walks into this room and says, "Well, I've never done this before, so what could happen?" And imagine how much it sucks you in as a kid going on this ride for the first time. Of like, oh man, anything can happen. Just that idea of like anything can happen.
Exactly. It sets the stage for like classic Disney park storytelling from there on out, which was in classic theme park storytelling in general, which is just like the classic concept of we're doing something and something goes wrong.
Yeah, and that's the brilliance. That was like one of my early experiences, like the brilliance of a simulator ride, of like just you're all along for the journey while you're kind of have something like those little rooms set up here, but you're in the experience. It was like sold so well. It was just this innocent little character Paul Rubens was playing.
And I like the fact that they created their own character. I mean, the new ride is good. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah.
But,
It's just
and he's got his cameo in the queue for the new one.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think that brought even more to it because you didn't know what to expect. This wasn't like it was R2 or C3PO like it is,
Yeah, this guy was expendable for all you know.
Yeah, exactly. Which means
Yeah,
you do.
The Expendables Star Tours edition.
Oh god. Don't even joke about that. No, but that's a good point. Is that like I do call him an original creation of Disney parks. He is as much an original Disney parks character as someone like Madame Leota or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he has his place in the parks, not in Star Wars itself, not in the movies, not in the TV shows. His whole thing, his whole legacy is within the parks.
Oh, can you imagine like a Star Tours miniseries?
That would be great.
Done in the animation style of droids, right?
Well, I was thinking just like literally kind of like what if there was like kind of a cross promotion, like Disney sponsor like a miniseries, like live action miniseries of some sort.
Forgot a live action one.
I don't know, animation could still be fun. I was saying it'd be kind of cool to see.
I can picture C-3PO being like the prissy boss, ordering
Yeah.
everyone around.
I mean, one of your stories involves the old captain first, and then C-3PO takes over by accident.
Excuse me, sir. You've had a 35-minute coffee break.
Because remember, C-3PO, he took over by accident, so the implication being that Paul Rubens' character is still in charge.
Sure.
Now he
All right,
did have one
wait.
television. He did have one television appearance on Star Wars Rebels.
Did he really?
Yeah, and I don't remember this, so now I want to go back and watch
Again,
it.
unfortunately, I haven't watched all Rebels yet, so I probably haven't seen this either.
It was Droids in Distress, and it was one of the more recent ones. Came out in October of last year.
Oh, that was like the second one they had out, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I remember the episode. I just don't. Now I want to go back and find him.
So, like, what was he on
That would
there?
be great. Oh my god.
He was the pilot of a transport, actually.
Oh, okay. I think. Okay, I think I saw this one. He must have been like the guy transporting like our main rebels, like they're incognito traveling along with the of our empire, like liaisons, and like C-3PO and R2-D2 got roped into the adventures. I'm assuming he was probably the captain of that ship. If
Yes.
I'm guessing.
That's it exactly.
All right.
But now I want to go back and watch that, and apparently he's got a throwaway line. Paul Rubens has a credit. So.
Oh yeah. Paul Rubens. He has. I remember some other great Paul Rubens roles he's done in animation lately. I love him as Batmite. He's fantastic as Batmite. He just brings like this childlike enthusiasm as Batman's uber fan.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on to
Yeah.
let's see who's next on the list. How about Joss Harnell? That's a big one.
Jess.
Mhm.
Or no.
Yeah,
Oh, it's Jess? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought it was Joss, like Joss Whedon.
No.
I'm dumb.
Jess
Okay,
Harnell.
Jess Harnell.
Where to begin with Jess Harnell? Oh boy. He's wacky. We can give him that. No.
Oh, of course.
A little more wacko.
He's utterly wacko.
I know what.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio.
Where's the party?
Oh, God.
So the guy, Jess Harnell, in terms of the Disney parks and like just some other roles he's also done, but this guy, he's uncanny at how well he can do impressions. It's uncanny the way he does it.
Yeah, I like how Wacko Warner kind of has a vague, like, Liverpudlian kind of accent. Like,
Oh, yeah.
not so much ripping off the Beatles, but just kind of like, that's just how he talks, and it's delightful.
No, but I mean seriously, like there are some roles that he's done, he's like, taken over for guys, and it's seamless. Like for example, on the Cleveland show, I didn't realize this till like later in the show that Seth MacFarlane initially voiced Tim the Bear, but then Seth MacFarlane got busy with better stuff. So
Didn't you also think the bear was just unfunny?
I liked the bear at first, but then it just kind of became he was a bear. That was all they had for him.
Yeah, the bear was like a huge turn off.
At first, it was a cool idea, but then he just kind of lost traction with like, okay, well, so he's just a bear. That's it.
Right.
Like before, he was like a bear with problems. He was a bear with like he had a little office job. He was just stressed out about his job. I love that. It's just point is, so Seth MacFarlane initially voiced Tim the Bear before he got busy with the movies, and at that point, they for like I believe seasons 3 and 4, they needed someone. Jess Harnell filled in. I didn't realize until I looked it up on Wikipedia that oh my god, someone took over for Seth MacFarlane. It's Jess Harnell. Oh my god, he did an uncanny job.
Yeah.
Just
But let's talk about his role in Splash Mountain, though.
of course, take it.
Roles, rather.
Yeah, take us to the
Right.
roles.
Monkey, you wanna tackle this?
Okay, so he is the voice of Brer Rabbit.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure he sings "Time to Be Turning Around" in the Florida one, and I believe he is also Brer Fox in the ride.
He is Brer Fox. Yes.
Yes.
There's also been Roger Rabbit too, not in that
Has
ride, but oh yeah, he's taking over the voice of Roger Rabbit's. Usually, if it's not Charles Fleischer, it's going to be Jess Harnell.
Yeah, in cartoon spin, it's Charles Fleischer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess with this guy, it's just he just brings such an energy to Splash Mountain, because I've always said Splash Mountain has one of the best paces of any ride, because it's just constant movement, constant momentum. You're constantly seeing new things and going down these smaller drops and stuff like that.
Especially in the California one.
Sure. So I feel like Harnell really adds to that, just because his vocals are all throughout the ride, and it just kind of adds to the excitement.
The most important thing outside just being a good impressionist for Jess Harnell is he really just brings that essence of character there. He just brings that with that energy. He has like that balanced energy. This guy, he manifests that into character. So just like not for a moment do you doubt that this is the character.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Can I tell you a quick funny Disneyland related story with this guy?
Go for it.
I believe he was at Disneyland. I believe so. He was like in line for a ride or something, and they basically he was in line. A kid like had an Animaniacs shirt on, and he asked him. This is like in that fantastic documentary. I know that voice, by the way. I'm sure many people have seen it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Anyway, so like just
Oh, it's fantastic, Monkey. You have to
Sounds
see it.
fantastic.
You do. Anyway, so it's like he's in line. This kid's wearing an Animaniacs shirt. And tells him, "Oh yeah, I do the voice. Do the voice of Whack." And the kid just does not believe him. And says, "Oh yeah, well yeah, sure, I do the voice too." He says, "No, seriously, I do the voice of Whack. I do the voice of Whack."
I'm Wacko Warner.
And the kid just doesn't believe him. He's really snarky to him. He wants to strangle this kid, but the kid's just like they shows him like just around at the time he had this little card that says, it's like a little fun Warner Brothers card they all made for the people. It says, I do the voice of Wacko Warner, a little picture next to him. And he showed him, and he says, "Oh yeah, well I can make a card too." It says, "I do the voice of Wacko Warner." So the kid's just giving him guff. Until then, he does the voice for him, and now he's under pressure. Just I guess. The way he tells it, I guess they didn't do as good a job as he thought, because then the kid does it, and he realizes, okay, there's no debate with this kid, so the kid does it, the person says, yeah, it's better than mine. He just buckles to the kid, the kid's so thick-headed.
Yeah, it's pretty delightful.
I'm pretty sure he's at Disneyland during that, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure he's
I think he was. I think you're right about that, yeah.
It's a little funny story, I'm sorry.
Probably, like, if memory serves, he might have been at Disneyland for the opening of Splash Mountain, and that's when it happened.
That's probably
Was Animaniacs a rhythm back then?
Let's see.
I don't think so. Animaniacs.
No,
did come out in, like,
Animaniacs was
91,
post Splash Mountain.
92.
Yeah, because Splash was in '89.
Yeah.
Was there any dubbing? So was Harnell always the voice?
So
of
actually,
Rabbit?
because of that, it couldn't have been the opening of Splash Mountain then. So that's my bad. But what were you saying, Dragon?
I was saying, like, are we sure that just Harnell he always did the voice of Brer Rabbit, or was there like any?
Oh yeah, he's always been the voice in there. Yeah.
So you gotta remember that's something we
In the
should.
ride. He's always been the voice in the ride. Yeah, I don't think he was the voice in the movie.
No, he was not the voice in the
definitely
movie.
not.
Way back in
The
the day.
movie is like from like what, like the 40s?
Yeah.
But obviously not.
But fun fact though, the guy who played Brer Bear is actually the original voice actor.
Yeah. At least in the California one.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the California version. Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
Seriously, Jeff Sarnell, wonderful. Like, and the guys, he really brings it. Even on that show, Drawn Together, he's doing all these different variations on voices, and the guys can really just change it like that and do it really, really well. It brings that essence there.
So one final person to go through before we kind of get into our bigger people is Bob Joles, and this was brought up on Blue Dragon 5's request. So Blue Dragon 5, why don't you take it through us?
Oh, Bob Joles. I watched the event that Monkey was present at, apparently, and I learned about this guy, and I was amazed. I vaguely remembered this guy. I said, what do I know this guy from? As the thing progressed, it reminded me when he did his Solak impression. And it dawned on me, oh my God, this guy is the go-to guy for Solak, and seeing how well he does, basically for the Indiana Jones ride. What's the ride specifically?
Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
Right. Anyway, so it's basically Solak giving you like the ride instructions. He's saying, keep children in the cart and get in the thing. He's doing like a perfect John Rhys Davies.
Oh, it's delightful. It's absolutely sets the tone. It's like you are there in the movies.
It is flawless the way he does his impression. Also, he's done various other great voice roles too. Like a reason I recognize this guy. Not only has he done a great Solak impression, he's done like voices like Man Ray on SpongeBob.
Yeah, Man Ray, who was also originally John Rhys Davies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Again, he's picking up the slack from
Bagheera in Jungle Book 2.
Yep. He was in Time Squad doing a bunch of voices. He's done like Ben Franklin is the name one of them. Also, a big one I remember. Here's the big thing, like tongue-in-cheek thing I just realized. This is when it dawned on me. Like, I know this guy. I remember in Danny Phantom there was this great notion in Danny Phantom that he had like the character Danny Phantom. He had a mentor who was like this abominable snowman ghost, and he was basically Solak from Indiana Jones as an abominable snowman, and his name was Frostbite. And he sounded exactly like John Rhys Davies, and I had to look it up.
Indeed, my friends, would you like a snow cone?
Yes, and I don't know.
It's lemon.
I'm getting the sense that it might have been John Rhys Davies originally, but then they ran out of money, and then they had to get this. I don't know. I'm just saying. Well, regardless of this guy, he took over the voice. If he didn't do it the whole time, just remember this. This guy does a fantastic Solak voice, and he just brings it. Like there's a funny story he shared. Monkey, would you like to go into it?
The Uncle Bob one.
Yeah, tell people the Uncle Bob story.
Okay, so I guess like his niece or someone was in the line for the Indiana Jones ride.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in a room with Solid doing his safety spiel, and she's like, "That's my Uncle Bob!" And whoever she's saying it to was like, "No, it's not. That's John Rice Davies." "No, it's my Uncle Bob!"
Oh, God.
It's adorable. Oh, but seriously, it just shows you again the power. It's something that's probably gonna be throughout, especially when you get to guys like Freeze. Just the power of the impressions. It just brings the magic there. It's like you're there and you're hearing Solid, and not for a moment in your mind do you doubt that. Oh my, yeah, it's Solid. It's Indiana Jones is right. Yeah, of course, I love Solid from Indiana Jones. It's another reason I gravitate towards this guy.
Of course.
It's just, it's flawless, and again, it just shows you these guys have such talent. They can bring you the Disney magic of like you are wrapped entirely in that experience. Like Solid's just off speaking on a microphone somewhere. That's him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so really quickly with Saul, I guess another guy that really plays into that I just kind of want to spotlight really quick is the voice impressionist by the name of trying to find his name. It's the guy who replaces it's the guy who replaces Rod Serling in Tower of Terror. Redubs his voice.
Oh, you
Mark
know this
Silverman?
monkey.
It's Mark Silverman. Yeah.
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 Just not much to add, but just really impressive job there.
Well, except that Sterling's wife actually signed off on the impression, which is pretty high praise.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
let's get into
I don't know if this is the case in the Florida Tower, but I know here at least the voice of Sterling in the pre-show sounds different than on the actual ride.
Maybe
it
like
was
a mixing of recordings. It's probably like they have one recording, then they have the other one there. And
maybe it was something in the time that elapsed between making the two towers.
Probably.
Yeah, I'd say I don't seem to ever recall that, and I've been riding it since the summer it opened. So, but we've got the better Tower of Terror. I can't say that about many rides.
Yeah,
I still have the better tower.
But that's one
I still
that
need to go on that one, on that version. Anyway.
All right, let's move on to the big five, and I am kind of running short on time, guys. We're going to have to kind of breeze through these. Jack Wagner.
Jack Wagner, yes.
Yeah.
The original emergency/safety instructions guy.
The only real thing to say about this guy is, like, could you even imagine going to Disneyland and not hearing his voice?
No.
Exactly. He's just so ingrained in Disneyland that it's just ridiculous.
Please exit the carts in an orderly fashion and grab the hands of small children.
We have voices, we have like voice accompaniment for the blind when crossing the streets in Petaluma, especially downtown. And so it'll be like just a voice that comes on and it's like, the walk sign is on across Western. And I swear to God, it sounds so much like Jack Wagner. It might be Jack Wagner.
Of course, the other thing with Jack Wagner, and we should definitely, you kind of mentioned him already, but probably also spotlight him here, that with Jack Wagner, he was also one of the first advents of, like, he gives you the theme park instructions, then accounting for our multilingual group of park participants. He kind of gives us it in Spanish or another language, and that was kind of the advent, starting with this guy, that was kind of brought to us by other characters.
Mm-hmm. Your attention, please. The Fantasy in the Sky fireworks are starting in a half hour at Sleeping Beauty's castle. Oh, man.
Donde estás, Eddie? And all the different languages.
England, anything to chime in with this guy?
Only a piece of random trivia that his son actually now works for Disney and did the announcements for Disneyland Paris.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, but I'm not sure how much of his voice, I know a lot of it does carry between the two because I've been to both parks, but I'm not sure how much of it was another actor. I think a lot of Disney World was another actor mimicking him. And I'm not sure who that is, but it is iconic. It is that voice.
Oh, yeah. It is like, I'd say outside of Paul Frees and Thurl Ravenscroft, it is definitely like the single voice you think of when you think of Disney. And probably even more so because Frees and Ravenscroft are kind of just, doing performances where this guy, he's just being himself. And he's so freaking welcoming while he's doing it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, this guy's a professional. This guy. But hey, Monkey, take us through kind of the other notable kind of like safety instructions person. B.J. Ward, tell us a little bit about it. Like, give us the Christmas story.
Christmas story?
Well, the Christmas gag reel story.
I'm not sure I remember this.
Sure. Tell us a little bit of B.J. Ward, if you can.
B.J. Ward, she is a voice actress. She has done a lot of work, including the voice of It's a Small World.
Yeah, so basically whenever there's a malfunction, It's a Small World, B.J. Ward's the one that says, please remain seated in case of emergency. That's her big
I'm looking at this. It says she was the People Mover narrator.
Oh, okay.
The mother in the 1993 version of Carousel of Progress. Burroughs Lament singer in Splash Mountain.
Right. Well, it's funny, like, something funny just kind of consider with people like, with their voice actors like B.J. Ward and I can only assume, like Jack Wagner would be like when they come to record these, there'll be like, like with any recording session, there are like outtakes and gags and stuff, and they just kind of like, they mess up a few takes just to kind of like see what it sounds like for funniness. And basically, whenever B.J. Ward would kind of intentionally screw something up.
Please grab your children by the hand and watch your ass as you exit.
Exactly. It's basically throwing stuff that the idea is like they would record just gag stuff intentionally for a gag reel that would be played at the Christmas party. It was like such an amusing idea. And I can only assume like some of the other like the other safety precaution voice actors like Jack Wagner, I can only assume some others would be doing a similar thing at the end. Like they're all there. It's the idea that these guys have a Christmas party and they're just like saying, we've done another great year of voice acting being part of this Parks Lane. Let's listen to something and amuse ourselves. It's a cute notion. I really like it.
All right, now let's talk about Ex Intencio.
Yes, Xavier Atencio.
This guy has a lot of writing credits under his belt.
Oh, yeah.
But I think, obviously he wrote Haunted Mansion, he wrote Pirates of the Caribbean. Those are definitely his big two.
Oh, yeah.
But let's concentrate mostly, especially because I'm running low on time, because we could do like a whole podcast on his writing credits.
Of course.
Let's concentrate on his contribution to Pirates of the Caribbean.
There's no ride without this guy.
Shoot, it's been so long.
Squalls ahead?
Yeah. Avast there. Just the whole, I used to be able to do that whole thing. And now I feel bad that I can't. It be too late to alter curse, mateys, and there be plunder and pirates lurking in every cove, waiting to board. Stick closer together and keep your rutting hands in board. That'd be the best way to repel orders. Ha 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 ha. And mark well me words, mateys. Dead men tell no tales. Ye be seeking adventure and sell to your pirates, eh? Well, sure, you've come to the proper place. But stand back, or sit back.
Whether I open, mates?
Keep a weather. Okay, now this is where damn it, I was doing good. I was doing good.
For Tiki.
No.
Okay, well, I think we got
Okay, that sets the tone for, like, almost any fictional thing ever better than any other fictional thing ever. Do you not agree? It's a tone setter. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It is a tone setter. Yes, definitely. Yes, a very fine tone setter.
It is like it is the equivalent to like a great opening paragraph of like a brilliant novel.
Yeah.
Disney's version of it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. I mean, and of course England. How does this kind of routine go through in your pirates?
Pretty much the same way. It's just in a different.
Wait.
Well, no, I can't.
It's not there anymore, right?
No, the parrot's not there. The skull, I think, is still there after the last.
No, I remember like when they put all the movie stuff in, they took out the skull, the talking skull.
Don't think so.
I'm
They
pretty
did that
sure they did.
in the mid-2000s. So
Yeah, like
you're asking me to
06
compare-
or so.
Yeah, you're asking me to compare a ride through in mid-90s since the last time I was there in 2013.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I remember him. I mean, I have a very fun. I remember him as at least a kid, so I think he's still there.
Yeah.
I remember. But you
like
may be
doing
right.
it in 09, and I did it in 09, and he was not there.
I don't know if maybe they brought him back, but I doubt it because they tend to screw over our version of the ride. So you may be right. Maybe I'm just blending a childhood memory with the trips I did in 2010 through 2013. But I do remember he was there at one point.
Yeah.
I went to Disneyland in 2013 as well, and it's not as obvious. So maybe that's why I remember seeing him at Disneyland and thinking that's great because you're right when you're out of the bayou scene. That's right when you're going into the ride. He's right there on the wall. And I distinctly remember thinking that was an awesome part of the ride. So maybe that's where, like I said, I'm blending a childhood memory with him not being there after the refurbs in the 2000s. So.
Yeah, I love how it's played in Disneyland because it's like you hear him before you even see him.
Yeah.
And it just adds to the intrigue and it adds to the suspense, and then you can hear the rushing water from the waterfall, and I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Oh, it's cool.
Now that I think about it, just to re-inject, but thinking back, you're absolutely right. They took him out and they replaced him with the Mist character.
Right. Oh God.
So at the beginning of our ride, we go through the Mist, and that's the story set up.
I hope you guys enjoy that.
No, not at all. Not the same. I won't say I like the Mist character. It's not. Everybody told me Disneyland's Pirates was better, and I was like, yeah, whatever, But then I wrote it, and I'm like, yeah, it's better.
Pretty much.
There's no argument at all.
Okay, anything to say about the talking skull before we move on?
Not about the skull. Just also that, I guess he's also the guy stuck in the coffin in the mansion, and of course he also says he's also the announcement when the ride stops, when the mansion stops.
Does he do the safety announcement at the beginning of Mansion?
No.
The Doom Buggy announcement?
Well, he's on the submarine voyage. He's the VO for that.
No. Currently the guy who was the announcer on Freakazoid does the safety.
Joe Leahy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's still in Haunted Mansion or no?
Yeah, he's still in the mansion. Cause did we? Was this talked about the whole thing about Paul Frees and Corey Burton and Joe Leahy?
No. We're saving that.
It's funny. I remember I was on the Haunted Mansion ride a few years ago in Disney World, and in that I could have sworn
I don't know if he's in Disney World.
I don't know. That's the thing. I was listening for him though. I didn't. I couldn't tell if it was Burton or Kelly. Not Kelly. It was Burton or Leahy exactly. But I don't know.
I don't know if they did that change in Disney World. Come to think of it.
Yeah, it's Joe Leahy, wonderful talent freaks.
Well, anyway, so
yes,
that's all I got for
right.
X.
So I guess we should be going to the good old Wally.
Yeah, sure, Wally Bogue, yeah.
Wally Bogue is one of Disney's favorite performers, this guy.
Of course. Now, obviously, he got his start, spitting out teeth in the golden horseshoe, Oh, such a great routine. Such an awesome routine.
Not many people know this, but he was almost Tigger.
Right.
I'm not surprised.
So here's a case of a guy who was just like a long-standing cast member who just happened to get just wrapped up in the Disney mythology, and now he's considered a Disney legend.
And it's such a sweet notion.
Crazy how it happened.
It's such a sweet notion that Walt Disney would help this guy out. Basically, because he had such respect for him, he cared for him. He would give him make sure he always had a flow of work, and that's what brought him to the Disney parks essentially.
Right. I mean, think how little credit theme park entertainers get nowadays. And, just in general, people who their job is literally to put on, theme park entertainment. Compare that to, Wally Bogue's day, where Wally Bogue, there were lines outside of the Golden Horseshoe to get in to see him. And he was just the most well-respected person in pretty much all of Disneyland for his contributions to that show. He was a celebrity within Disneyland.
Yeah, just the idea, he was, Disney took care of his people, and this is a prime example of that.
Didn't he have a loose connection to Julie Andrews?
Yeah, I guess so.
I believe so, yes.
Like he brought her in when she was a child actor or something like that?
Didn't he do something in relation to Mary Poppins, or is it something else?
I guess they did something together at the London Hippodrome when she was 12, and then in 1963, I'm quoting Wiki, Julie Andrews once again performed with Bogue on the Golden Horseshoe stage along with the Dapper Dans at a special press-only event to promote the following year's release of Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
Nice.
That must be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, of course, the big story of Wally Bogue, the thing that's going to really immortalize him, I mean, of course, he's already immortalized in our hearts, is the, in the Golden Horseshoe review, because any hardcore Disney fan knows how awesome he was in that.
Well, one could say he's been idolized. Am I right with that?
But yeah, of course, his big contribution is, oh, my siestas are getting shorter and shorter. I mean, come on. As soon as you hear that voice, as soon as you hear Jose wake up, you're into it. You are drawn in. Am I wrong?
No.
What can you say about Jose? What can you say about the Tiki Room in general? I mean, of course, I'm a big fan of the Tiki Room, so I guess I'll kind of take over this. But to me, the Tiki Room is kind of like the ultimate kind of just walking in, and literally it's like you stepped into like a silly symphony. It has the structure of a silly symphony. It's about 10 minutes long. There's kind of an opening song. There's some dramatic build that happens.
It's a fun history lesson.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and of course the first audio animatronic technology. Really, this is where it started when it came to like, let's have actual characters in these parks that we can develop. Like, Jose is what eventually led to Figment. You know what I mean?
Really?
If you look at it that way, yeah, because when you consider like what other characters in Disney parks before Jose were there that weren't originally from a Disney property.
If you folks haven't picked up on this, is a big part of Tiki's origin story.
No, I'm serious though. Before Jose, before the Tiki Room, there were like the animals and the Jungle Cruise, and just all the scientific mumbo jumbo going on in Tomorrowland. Frontierland might as well have been called Davy Crockett Land at that point. Yeah. And then Fantasyland was obviously all the all the intellectual properties. So seriously, before Tiki Room is really what set the standard and set the precedent for like, okay, we can tell stories here. We can tell stories with actual characters who have motivation. You know what I mean? And that's where I really think the Tiki Room kind of evolved things.
You got all this Tiki folklore and legends and everything just kind of gravitate towards people. People just kind of gravitate towards once they hear about it. It's a big deal. Sure.
Yeah, it's like I said, Wally Bogue. Of course, there's other voice actors in the Tiki Room. I think there's Monkey. Do you know any of them offhand?
Like Fulton Burley, Ernie Newton.
Fulton Burley was with him at the Golden Horseshoe, right?
Yeah. Was Ernie Newton in it too, or?
Thurl Ravenscroft was Fritz.
Yeah.
By the way, I think that's one of his more diverse voices.
Oh yeah. It's pretty easy to not realize it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he doesn't really have that like deep voice going on.
Yeah. And if I may, I find it super. I realized this sometime in like a couple years ago. Like under new management, Michael didn't have any new lines in it. Like any of like Jose and Fritz got a few more lines, but like Michael, all his lines are recycled from the original, and for some reason, like nearly all of the hosts' lines went to Pierre.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
Like, we got Gary Orbach and we're gonna use him, damn it.
All right, so I think this is kind of a natural transitioning point for Wally Bogue into Thurl Ravenscroft.
Well, if
so
I may flesh out the background real quick for Thurl's Ravenscroft, let's show you how much of a career this guy had.
Go ahead, really quick.
So basically, Thurl's Ravenscroft, he was a young kid, he had like an interest in singing, and he kind of evolved to like kind of a freelancing and a lot of studio
Keep
jobs.
going, I'll be right back with something.
Sure. It kind of evolved to a lot of freelancing and studio, led to a lot of studio jobs, which eventually leads him to Disney. Again, he started more so singing in the movies, then he did some voices, and then kind of wrong. Again, singing has been his main stay in animation and Disney, and especially in the theme parks too. Another huge thing he did was he did a lot of commercial work for cereal, which kind of he got to pick from 3 characters, and he picked Tony the Tiger to try a voice out for. He did, and he's the one who came with the advent of great. The guy had a lot of creative ideas. That was him, and believe it or not, he was like called by the president of the cereal company, like Kellogg's. He was like called in and says, "We're selling a lot of cereal because of you."
They probably did sell a ton of cereal.
Exactly, because of that great. That's all Ravenscroft, man. That's his talent there. And again, he kind of started like off in the incidental. He did a lot of incidental singing work for Disney, just kind of like the background, along with a lot of players just doing singing, like big roles, particularly like Cinderella, Peter Pan, of course the huge one, Pink Elephants.
Right, yeah.
That was him, and of course in the park he did a lot of iconic. Here's something really interesting about one of his huge roles in the park. He was the train. He was Disney's train.
Yes.
That's a place of honor.
Right.
That is the most iconic thing for me.
Yeah, I remember Disney loved
his voice in the train station.
You gotta remember, Disney loved his trains. That's a huge deal. That's a huge place of honor. So Disney, I love.
Basically, Disneyland was just a giant excuse for him to have a huge train set.
Exactly. Again, remember, that's essentially Disneyland started. He built a train set in the backyard for him and his daughters, and that's how Disneyland was born. He built a little something for him and his daughters.
Right.
In essence, and also, didn't he do like a voice around the castle or something?
From the castle. I'm not sure about that.
I think he was there in the opening day ceremonies. I think he did the Herald, I guess, or the announcer for Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Yeah, he had a lot of fun roles too. Like he was, I believe, the Buffalo Head in the Country Bear Hall.
Yeah, he was buff.
He gets to play like all these fun roles in a lifetime he never expected to be asked to play. Like pirates and in the Tiki Room he had a big character. He played.
Tongariro.
Yeah, he played Tongariro and Fritz. Fritz is just this, as we kind of said before.
Yeah, but almost my pineapple punch. What was that? Aboard a short or whatever you are.
Yeah, hilarious German bird character. It's just so funny.
And like I said, it's like that just so plays against his usual type of like, I'm the deep voiced Tongariro god.
I am Tongariro. Father of all gods and goddesses.
Tiki, correct me if I'm going to try to see if I learned anything about the Tiki Room here. I want to test it against you, sir. I want you to tell me if I'm wrong here. So if I'm right, Tongariro actually has kind of a really cool backstory here. So if I'm right, he was like the son. The backstory of Tongariro is he was the son of the Tiki god whose like heart was planted in the ground and grew a tree that kind of gives birth to like little gods. Am I right with that?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Boy, that's
all the little gods kind of fall from his, fall from his branches, just like it says in the spiel.
Yeah, so Tongariro, he's got like a meaty character to work with there, alongside a lot of comedic characters, like like the German parrot, which is hilarious. Fritz. And of course,
back to the Disneyland Railroad though. They have his voice playing at very pivotal parts of the park, and just as this like. The Disneyland Railroad is now boarding for a grand circle tour around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom. All aboard!
And just hearing that voice, that's
iconic.
Hearing that voice, that's like the most magical feeling for a kid getting on it. Like, this part has a train? Yeah, it has like an old-fashioned train. You're boarding in, and you're just like, you're all aboard. It's like a classic, it's like a classic 40s movie. You're getting on, you're going off to a grand adventure.
I'm honestly getting nostalgia feels right now.
You see what I mean? If you're getting on that thing, it's like, oh my god, where are we going? Like, where could this train possibly? We're in a theme park. Where could it go? We didn't know that. Like, where could this go? This could go anywhere. Like, any secret part of the park.
Oh my god! It's backstage. It's backstage props from the Nutcracker.
And just the idea you're transported, you're whisked away to all these different sections, subsections of magical lands in Disney by proxy of this train. So it was a huge deal that he was part of this experience here. And just you hear this ominous voice of like you don't know if what this guy is. This ominous, dignified voice is telling you, hey, we're heading here.
We're headed here. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, really nice. And also because the other two huge claims to fame in this guy's career, one being Disney Park, the other one being, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I mean, do I have to say? I can just tell you.
Cartoons.
Of course, what's funny, just one of the roles he didn't think would. It's like he and Chuck Jones would joke, like, well, what are we doing next Christmas? Like, nope, we don't have to work again ever because we done reached the gold mine with the Grinch. But of course, let's address the elephant in the room, like the big thing he's done in the Disney Park. Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He and I believe it's him and his Merry Men, like the Merry Men were like the singing group.
The Merry Men, yeah.
Merry Men,
Mellow Men, yeah.
Mellow Men, yeah.
Mellow Men? Yeah. I think you wrote down Merry Men in like the little description.
Well, then I'm just an idiot then, I'm sorry.
I kept thinking they were Merry Men. So that was kind of adorable. Like, oh, they're little Merry Men, like Robin Hood. It's nice. He's always mentally throughout his life. He's always had a bunch of quartets, and he's worked in the group. Like he's worked a lot of great people in Hollywood, like Bing Crosby. You name it. He's worked a lot of big names. Like it was a really great Imagineering technique they used way back then. They're projected heads on busts,
But that was so freaking uncomfortable for him.
Yes, Tiki tells what they had to do.
Bust that sideways.
Yeah, he's the one with he's the broken bust.
Right.
And you remember how they did that, Tiki? So what they did was they made him up, put like the surface on the eyes is black and white. But what they did was it was like a head against a black background. Here's the cool part, the really twisted part about the old technologies. They put their heads in a voice so they couldn't move their heads when they were singing, as you would naturally do. So they would have to sing. That's why they were really expressive in the face when they're projected on these.
Exactly. It made for such an iconic sort of delivery.
Yeah, let me tell you an adorable story about Thurl's Ravenscroft. Last thing to say on him, I have. I'm sorry, I'm going to just do all the talking here, but it's a really adorable story. It's they're doing Lady and the Tramp again, like a recurrent thing with our Disney voices here. They get to do a lot of incidental voices in the Disney films, and even they weren't a Frank Welker or anything, but they did some voices too, like dog barks in the movie. I assume like the part where they're looking for Lady and the Tramp towards the end there. But point is, they're in the studio and Walt Disney's coming by, telling them, okay, well we need some dog barks. They did some dog barks, he and his group, and it was just wasn't anything really special at first. It's, well, it's okay, but it could be a lot better. That's what Disney's saying to him. And then Thurl's Ravenscroft, he's the guy Disney approaches. These two have like a great kind of respect-based relationship because he knows Thurl's Ravenscroft does fantastic work. He knows he does, and I just love the earnestness in that relationship between these two guys. And he says, you know what, Walt? Because again, this is like he's approaching Walt Disney, the big boss here, is saying, well, Walt, give us lunch, and we'll come up with something. And he comes back. And then he gives him like a dog bark, and literally the way he says it, I believe every second of the story. He tells him like Walt Disney had like tears of beauty and joy in his eyes. Like something simple as a dog bark, just hearing it perfect. Disney hearing something perfect just made him like kind of tear up a little bit. That's wonderful. The vibe I've gotten from Thurl's Ravenscroft, I've seen one of his last interviews before he died.
The Extinct Attractions Club did a pretty extensive interview with him before he died.
Yeah, like just getting a vibe. Yeah, getting a vibe from that. That's the one I saw.
Oh, okay, right on.
Just the vibe I got from that, just like from his long career, is like he's such like a darling man. He has like this presence and yet this enthusiasm. Like he hasn't taken it all for granted. No, he's had like a wonderful life. He's voiced these characters he never thought in a million years he'd be able to do. He's had a really exciting life with all this booming power behind his voice. Has just brought all the stuff to life and made it just so memorable and just so like it's cracked the surface of the stones of history,
Right.
And that's why he's a little toppled over too, because his voice is so powerful. It's toppled him over.
All right, let's move on to the last.
Yeah, if I may, just one last quick Thurl Ravenscroft thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so with this thing, I don't remember when this was, and I have no personal experience with how this happened, but so got this on the back of one of my father's former business cards. Can you see it? Wow, the light is terrible. There we go.
Oh, there. Oh, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh.
Monkey, say something so we can see it. Say something so we can see it.
It says it's signed by Thurl Ravenscroft. Like, I guess my dad had some sort of business interaction.
That is freaking badass, Monkey.
Oh my god. I take back what I said. That was worth the lateness. Oh my god.
I agree. What did you say?
Well, no, we mocked you with Doc Brown stuff at the beginning, that's all.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Anyway, how can it be late if he has a time machine? Okay, anyway. One last thing on Thurl is, of course, one of his fun voices I think we all remember, we'll always kind of remember back from Monty, was Kirby in Brave Little Toaster.
I still need to see that.
Oh my god.
I still need to see that whole movie.
Yes you do. Oh yes you do.
It's like the most cynical he's ever been as a character. And it is
the most straight up cynical Disney movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, just Kirby was always, like, he had that heart behind it, but he was, like, covered up so much gruffness and curmudgeonness. You know, he was, like, at the end, he just had these really great moments, though. It was, like, that moment Heroes when he jumps off that cliff. Oh, my God. Just, like, the fear on his face, though, it registers through the performance, and just, like, it's been set up so well by Ravenscroft. Again, fantastic voice, fantastic actor, and a staple of the park if there ever was one.
Okay. Yeah. Except for this other guy, who's arguably even more of a staple of the park.
Paul Frees just the staple of everything.
We saved the best for last, folks. Give it up for Mr. Paul Frees.
Let me say this for Frees. You know, this guy, along with Mel Blanc, he is the man of 1,000 voices.
Sure.
Yeah.
And, of course, obviously he has, like, a long laundry list of credits to his name. One of my personal favorites being Boris from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I think all my favorites from Frosty the Snowman. Like he was the policeman in Frosty the Snowman. Oh, Snowman, eh?
Stuff.
What?
A whole ton of Rankin Bass stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Hey, let me just give you a list of like who he was employed by. He was employed by Disney, MGM, Rankin Bass, Hanna-Barbera, Jay Ward, Filmation, you name it. This guy. Voice there. Now, here's something really neat I found about this guy. So, yeah, Paul Frees. I mean, of course, Paul Frees is know him all from like his fantastic voices in Frost the Snowman. Some of his other stuff, like Boris the Dash. He's like in Jack Frost, and he's been the ticket guy. No money, Santa Claus. All these fantastic voices in Frosty. But I mean, this guy. He is the narrator. He is the impressionist. He was like Ralph Garman before Ralph Garman in a way. In a way. And like some of his most popular impressions, like kind of how Ralph Garman is on Hollywood Babylon, but just like much more acclaim behind them. That's pretty much what Paul Frees was. And his big voice is like he did a great Orson Welles impression, did a great Humphrey Bogart impression. This guy was the classic Hollywood narrator impressionist. He was like the Frank Gorshin before it was Frank Gorshin. Well, this guy was great. And his Disney roles, oh my god. He had two huge Disney roles along with just a narrator in general.
Well, one of the huge Disney roles he had was Ludwig von Drake.
Essentially was Donald Duck as Doc Brown.
Essentially, yes. And I love that character to death.
Yeah, seriously, how cool is Ludwig von Drake?
I mean, I love just the entire, like Duck universe that Disney has created with like Scrooge and DuckTales and Darkwing and all that stuff. It's all wonderful. Everything except Quack Pack. Screw Quack Pack.
I loved Ludwig von Drake on House and Mouse, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's great. It's really great.
I'm sorry, England. Care to weigh in on some Frees von Drake action here?
Nothing that hasn't already been said. I like he did the older Ludwig von Drake cartoons, which were just epic. I mean, I remember they showed it when I was in elementary school. We'd watch Ludwig von Drake, like the music episode.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of impact. He also did some stuff at Disneyland as well, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
So let's get into that. Of course,
well, if I'm right, Von Drake was like he was a huge staple in the Disney Wonderful World of Color too. Like he was one of the big characters.
He was, yeah. And I always attest that Wonderful World of Color show would be so much better if they just had him in there as the host and kind of the narrative focus.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, absolutely. But they kept replaying those cartoons all the way into the end World of Color until the 70s and even the 80s.
Yeah.
I grew up in Germany watching it on AFRTS. and you know, they were new to me. I mean, I was like 6, but they were like 20 years old.
Right. Same thing with like Hanna-Barbera cartoons for me. Like I didn't know they were like from the 60s. All right, so you guys want to just get into it? His resume for the Disney parks?
Yeah, go ahead, fire away.
Okay.
So there's inner
When
space.
angels creak in doorless chambers, and strange and frightening sounds echo through the halls. Whenever candlelights flicker where the air is deathly still, that is the time where ghosts are present. Yes. I mean, like, we're talking that Pirates of the Caribbean narration being the greatest opening paragraph in the history of Disney attractions. This is the greatest opening paragraph in the history of Disney attractions. Oh my god.
I mean, look, Paul Frees is the narrator, then, of course, what is his best crowning achievement than the narrating voice in one of the huge Disney park attractions here?
Yeah, the Ghost Host, I would say, is, like, it's funny because he's one of the most iconic, like, original theme park characters ever, and you never see him.
Exactly. I mean, it's just so wonderful. Yeah, he's like...
Depending on who you ask, but yeah.
Well, yeah, there's theories. Yeah, there's
theories, but still theories are.
It's creepy yet awesome though. It sucks you in just to have like, oh my god, this guy he's shaking the foundation. He's literally making the room stretch with his voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you know, and this is an attest. You know, we touched on this earlier about, you know, good voice acting. He's scary, but he's not. He's more creepy than he is scary.
Yeah,
right. Like it's mostly in the dialogue, you know. Like he's the whole thing where he's playing with you, like this chamber has no windows and no doors.
It's like as debatably scary as it would get. It would be the fun would be they're making it less scary, just more like it's just like fun spooky. It's not like scary, like jump scare or anything. You know, it's like you walked into like a horror movie, but it's a safe horror movie for kids. You know, it's like a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
You know, everything's fine.
Yeah,
And kind of funny.
Go ahead.
I've kind of read like Ghost Host like basically Ghost Host is a troll. He's just trolling everyone, all of us.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah. But it's that fine line where, you know, it's like they could have gone extremely creepy with it, but you still don't know. I mean, if you've ridden the ride, you know, but if you've never ridden it before, like when I took my 6-year-old or 5-year-old, she was 5 at the time. That section creeped her out, but I have a complete.
Oh, I bet.
You know, I look at it and you compare it. It's hard to explain. It was just the right fit for the stretching room and everything that's going on there, and the cartoony paintings that are kind of contradictory, and then right at the end where they do the flash and you see the man hanging from the rafters. It's not scary. That's the wrong way to put it. It's creepy, or maybe there's a better term, but that's the best I can.
I would say the hanging guy in the attic is flat out scary.
Yeah. Right. But the entire
that
scene
is like one of the few moments of flat out, like, you know, cold-blooded intensity in the attraction.
Just in all of the resort, really.
It is horrific, but my point is the entire scene taken as a whole is not really a scary scene.
Yeah, you're right.
You're kind of built, and his voice does this because there's nothing else really to look at besides the stretching paintings. You know, it sets that mood so well, and then by the time you get to the end and they do hit you with that scare, it leaves the audience thinking, okay, like. I think a troll is a really good analogy in a modern term. You know, okay, so he was kind of friendly, kind of creepy. It's not really scary, and then oh my God, there's this dead man hanging from the ceiling. But you only see it for a second.
That's your typical internet troll.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, maybe. And then, you know, but
the pizza roll.
It really leaves you, you know, on edge, and it would have been so easy to get that wrong, or to just do an impression of another famous scary voice from the, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah, do a Lugosi or something like that.
What that kind of has a Lugosi charm in a way though. Like it's just that entrancing. Like you linger on every word. You're going on this lyrical journey almost.
If you guys do want a Ghost Host narration that is genuinely frightening, though, listen to Yeah, Vincent Price. Holy crap, that guy is menacing in that.
Well,
in
of
that
course, it's
role.
Vincent freaking Price, of course.
No, but I'm saying, like,
Not a
you
fan.
know, there's times that Vincent Price can be hammy. I mean, come on. As much as I love Vincent Price,
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
did Scooby-Doo.
yeah, exactly. He did the Muppets. You know, it's like, but no, in here he takes it like deadly serious, and it's just the freak. It's creepy. It's legitimately creepy.
Yeah. Again, Phantom Manor as a whole, yeah.
Sure.
Vincent Price is also a very talented performer. He'll make you cry, like Edward Scissorhands. He'll make you cry with his beauty and his performance.
One of the more underrated Paul Frees performances, I'd say, is the Adventure Through Inner Space.
Right.
Because, first of all, I love the whole concept of, like, what you hear of him is just, like, his subconscious brain waves or something like that.
Yeah.
And, like, that whole attraction, like, I've gone on, like, that, it really fascinates me what they did with that thing for the time, for the technology that they had available. I think that attraction was really ahead of its time. And Paul Frees, I mean, I just love his delivery. I love how, like, as the ride goes on, he gets more and more panicked. And at the start of it, he's kind of like all like, oh, wow, look at all these crystals. And then he starts to realize, like, uh-oh, if we don't get out of here, we're going to shrink and shrink and shrink even more.
Just bringing that sense of urgency in there, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So we should probably talk about, unfortunately, as can be expected, the character of this long-spanning, of a guy with this long-spanning career. Eventually, that career's going to run out at some point, which means we got to bring in some new guy. We got to bring in
Corey Burton to the rescue.
Yeah, Corey Burton. It's in.
Well, it was because they had to update the safety spiel, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had to update it to make it more, legally.
And also
Right.
when they do the Haunted Mansion Christmas with the
Yeah, Haunted Mansion Holiday, of course.
Boo. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Agree to disagree.
I like it. Oh, I like it.
England?
I don't like that.
Sorry, it's a basement
I've got nothing to say about the overlay. I haven't seen it, but I hope we don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, you should, because it takes away from the original attraction's theme and spirit and creepiness factor.
I saw some pictures of it. I haven't done a ride through, but the pictures that I saw, it looks like they light the mansion up too much.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is like by far my main complaint. Is that it is way too well lit. It is way too light, like physically light.
We got to rein in on this one because this one could go on for a video. As a matter that has been a worry with this topic in the past.
But we were talking about Corey Burton.
Yeah.
Yes, Corey Burton. Oh my God, Corey Burton.
Replacement thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and the power of impressionist with the voice actors in this park. I mean, this guy, he's also like an illustrious career doing tons of voices. Like, a big one I remember, like he had Brainiac from Superman the Animated Series. Oh my God, he brings such a creepy HAL 9000-ish performance with that in a really great way. I mean, Burton, he's also great for old-timey voice because Burton's like one of those classic guys. He loves just the old voices, and that's why Paul Frees is really in his wheelhouse for doing like Paul Frees is like he was the announcer, he was the narrator, he was the kind of the go-to impressionist guy. I mean, that's rubbed off as a big influence on Corey Burton, which is why he's so apt at doing it here.
Sure.
And he did it for all his voices. He also like Ludwig von Drake. That's Corey Burton now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
He
He's
took
really
all the
kind of like
roles.
the.
A lot of Paul Frees things.
Yeah. He is like Paul Frees 2.0. He has taken over the mantle.
It is nice to know that
He is like the ShamWow guy to Paul Frees' Billy Mays.
Well, it's so wonderful and refreshing to know that we live in an era, gentlemen, of we have these voice actors who are so adept, so talented. Even the new talent, they're knocking out of the ballpark. They're so gifted and so talented. Of course, our voice directors, whoever they may be, and they're not all Andrea Romano. Let's be honest. But so there's a voice, like our Don Pitts, our wondrous voice casting directors and agents and everyone. They're all working to give us just the best kind of fill-in, the best voice talent to kind of hand over the torch. One of these legacy castings, giving us the next guy. The next guy's going to do as equal job, a job that's going to for the old people who've been on the ride, they're not going to notice the difference because these guys are doing such a great job. Like for the new kids, they're going to have the same experience as those big kids who were little kids at one point who walked on that ride and went through that experience. It's bringing that magic and keeping it burning after all these years. That's what these new guys like Burton and the gang are doing when they take over a legacy role like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah,
it's
I've
a
got to wrap
really-
it up like right now, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dragon, those are some good final thoughts. Monkey, you have any last final thoughts to say?
Thank you to these voice actors for creating these legendary characters and things. You're very inspiring. Very, very inspiring.
All right, England, any final parting thoughts on this subject?
I can't say it any better than Monkey did. That was perfect.
Thanks.
All right. So, without further ado, I'd like to once again give a big thanks to MichaelSar12IsBack, one of our big time commenters and subscribers here on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer YouTube channel. So, just know that all your comments and contributions are very much appreciated. And anytime any of you guys have a request for a podcast, we would love to hear it. You know, it might take us several months to actually get to it because of someone's scheduling conflicts. Monkey.
Well, this could be freeing up soon-ish.
He was frozen a few months ago.
Yeah, he was. So, yeah. So big thanks to him for suggesting it, and big thanks to you guys for watching, and yay for getting past the 200 subscriber mark. I'm excited about that. Took us a while, but we're finally there. And all right, see you later, everyone.
Please.